the end of the day, is the difference between PJ Washington and Grant Williams that great?
I guess that brings us to our biggest loser, which to me is the Dallas Mavericks. And they maybe it's possible that Gafford and Washington are just that good and that they were just languishing on the two worst teams in the East. And now that they get in Dallas, they're really going to blow up. But I think they just gave up 2 more years of their draft for guys who I don't consider to be playoff level of starters. I just didn't. And
yeah,
I guess, maybe Gafford will start, maybe Lively will start. I don't know. But it seems like Dallas is we're going to just make whatever the biggest move is that we possibly can to help this year's team. And we don't care about the future consequences. And due to the state of the market, this is where they ended up.
This to me was them pushing their chips in actually too soon when they could have had a really interesting opportunity this summer when they would have had 3 firsts available to put in a trade, which would have put them really in position for any unhappy star player. And now that they've given up the one, they'll just have 25 and 31 to put in a trade. It's going to be a lot harder for them to win a bidding war with just that. And Gafford, to me, he's been pretty good this year. He plays hard. He's tough. He could be a little undersized against the biggest guys. He picks up fouls. Yeah. He's not a floor spacer. So to me, he's probably a backup 5 on a good team, and he makes $14 million. So he's an expensive backup 5. He's kind of a luxury. I mean, you can sort of make it work because you have Lively on his rookie deal. So I get that part. And Rashawn Holmes obviously was dead money. So I understand that, but to give up that 28 swap, I don't know. I might have bided my time on that one. Especially I just don't think this is a championship caliber team right now. So pushing in on it right now, that just didn't make sense to me. And then PJ Washington, how much more can you get out of him defensively than Charlotte did? I think is the question. He was bad this year. And so there's this idea that he's, 6'7", can switch across multiple positions. No, he can get torched at multiple positions. So you have to get way more from him on defense than you've gotten from him. And offensively, he's an okay 3-point shooter. He can score against mismatches on the block, but he's not a huge efficiency offensive player. And it's not like the offense there in Charlotte was that bad. I mean, he was playing with LaMelo Ball. They were running a lot. It was pretty free and open. Playing with Luka will obviously help, don't get me wrong, but it's not like that system in Charlotte was killing him either.
These are, I think, the best guys that they could have gotten that were available for what they had to trade. Now, I think that some teams should have, if that a 2027 unprotected Dallas pick was available, I think that they should have moved better players than PJ Washington, but they did not, and that was to Charlotte's benefit. But it seems like they are just panicked again at how their season's starting to go off the rails a little bit, and they need to look like they did something. And maybe they also were just really concerned about Grant Williams' contract and how that was going to age, and they just didn't want to play him anymore, and they didn't want to just get stuck with that. And then maybe the thought was, well, Luka, he's got 2 years left at this point after this year. He's going to ask out if we don't just have a better year this year.
I think that definitely loomed over Dallas's decisions.
That could just come this year.
Yeah.
It's hard to think to me of what is the playoff series I'm picking them to win now that I wasn't before.
Right?
Now, these guys will help them in the regular season for sure. And I don't know, maybe Lively's going to be out for a little bit longer. Just having Gafford, having PJ Washington, adding 2 more 7th men to this team when the guy they brought in to be their 4th man was actually a 9th man in Grant Williams. Okay, yeah, that's going to help them. And they do need to do more here in this regular season to have a chance of doing something in the playoffs. But yeah, I'm not just oh yeah, wow, they really match up so much better against Denver now.
Yeah.
Because they match up so much better against Phoenix. I mean, I'm not even sure. I know they didn't like Grant Williams and he was shooting a little more poorly. I'm not even sure PJ Washington is better for them than Grant Williams.
You're preaching the choir, especially when you the defensive difference between the two. So Yeah, that's
I do
that's
think
an
there's something
interesting
there with
trade.
PJ. As like he's got a little more length than Grant Williams. Like I think there is something there as far as like he's shown some moments moving his feet. Like he actually guarded Zion pretty well when New Orleans and Charlotte matched up. So like there have been flashes, but I agree with you. Certainly the body of work for PJ Washington defensively is not something. And
I mean,
like PJ, it's easy.
you're betting that
Yeah.
you can just get way more out of him defensively, and maybe, but like I'd be very squirmy about giving up that much up for that
Well, and for this team,
lottery ticket.
why is PJ Washington's offense so much better than Grant Williams? Like, are they gonna be like running post ups for him off of switches or something? Like, he's not really much better of a shooter than Grant, I would say.
Maybe you could use him more effectively as a screener,
Yeah.
get him going downhill.
Or maybe they feel he can play more five.
I
But
think
they also just traded for another five.
A, they just traded for a different 5. B,
Yeah.
I mean, did you see his body of work as a 5 in Charlotte? Like,
Well, I mean, those units were effective, although I think that was more of an offensive thing, I would say.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is for Dallas to now be, and particularly now that you have a 4-year block from 27 to 30 when you don't have control of your draft pick, that is very scary, particularly when that block begins the year after Luka's contract could expire. Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Best part of the show.
All right, welcome on to our post-trade deadline edition of Hollinger and Duncan.